Welcome, everyone. So glad you are here. Hopefully, you are surviving the heat wave that is happening. I feel like across the world. We look inside of the news, and everywhere you see, it says that there's some kind of a heat wave going on. But I live in Wisconsin, so no heat wave here. We have 66 degrees and sunny. It's actually really beautiful and actually really nice. So I'm not going to complain at all. Not right now about the weather. It's fantastic. Today you guys are going to get to hear some from amazing tutors that are using blogging so that they can get found with their online tutoring business. Now, this is really helpful blogging because it's going to help you with SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. Now, search engine optimization is kind of like when you type something into that URL bar and a whole bunch of things come on up. That is not by accident what's coming on up. It's because you have optimized either your website or your blog so that your terms get found. Okay, so nobody can get found by accident these days. You have to be intentional. And blogging is an incredible way to do that. Now, I know as soon as I say blogging, a lot of you guys start thinking, oh my gosh, but I'm not really a good writer. I feel you. I say the same things to myself all of the time. Suzanne knows this. I still say it. Even though I write every single day and I've written 8 books, I still say I'm not a good writer, or, I'm going to make all these mistakes, or I'm going to do this, or I still get in my head about my writing. So I know where you're coming from. I know the fears that you guys have, but sometimes it's a matter of just getting started. And I know a lot of times you guys think, oh, well, I don't actually know what to write about. Right. And so then you need some guidance. What are some things that you can write about? And then just get started writing. And these tutors that you're going to get to hear from today, they did just that. Not only that, they set themselves a goal of how much they were going to write, and they ended up winning. Okay, they are winners. We all need to hear that we're winners when it comes to our writing, I think. So I'm really excited to share with you guys today Melissa Agos and Lynn Wilson. But before that, I'm going to introduce you to Suzanne Davis. Suzanne Davis is in charge of our amazing challenge that we have to just get people writing. She does this 31-day challenge, and she has people decide what goal is it that they want to reach. I'm going to have Suzanne share a little bit more about that process. So, Suzanne, tell us about that 31-day challenge that you had going on.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Suzanne Davis, and thank you, Joanne, for having me on. So, the blogging challenge is something we do twice a year, and it's actually two different challenges. The first one is called the Tutor Blogging Stars Challenge, and this is for people who really want to blog basically like twice a month. Right. And so their goal is to write 3,000 words of blog posts, blogging words over those 30 days, which is really, really wonderful. And it's kind of daunting at first, and it seems hard to do, but uh, miraculously, everybody who does this usually wins. There were two people that won this time around in the Tutor Blogging Star Challenge. And then the other challenge is called the Tutor Blogging Rockstar Challenge. And so this is for those people who want to really be able to blog every week. And they need to write 6,000 words in 30 days. So Lynn was one of the winners for that challenge. Congratulations, Lynn. Lynn has done this challenge, I think, 4 times now.
Yes, she has.
Lynn,
Oh,
correct me if I'm wrong.
that was the exact number that came to my head. Was it more or less, Lynn? Oh, we can't hear you, Lynn. So sorry. I don't know what's going on. She's like, I don't know. We got sign language going on now.
Okay. Well,
Four. Yes, we got four. There's like the
4.
number that came to
Okay.
my head right away was four. Yes, she's won it 4 times.
Yes. So she's just a regular pro at these challenges. So I'm excited to hear what both Melissa and Lynn have to say about the experience.
Yeah. So I know Lynn is trying to get her system up so that we can hear her because it's not bringing in her sound. And we got Melissa Egas. Melissa, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you tutor, where you're from.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is, as Joanne said, Melissa Egas. I am based in California. And so I got up really early to be here with you, but I'm happy to be here. And I am a online math tutor. I specialize in getting kids ready for algebra so they can be successful in algebra and shoot for the stars beyond that. But my my favorite grades are, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and yeah, that's what I do.
I love it. And a lot of people wouldn't typically think that a math tutor would be blogging, but here you are, and you're blogging. What were the thoughts before you started the blogging challenge about blogging?
I wasn't sure it was for me, like all the things you were saying. I wasn't sure it was for me. I wasn't sure I had enough content. I wasn't sure where to put it, if anyone was going to read it, what the point was for me to do it. And I had a lot of doubts, but I thought, I was in the Jumpstart program also, so I was wondering, why, if this is not the time to do it, then when will I do it? So I should try the things I told myself I was going to try to jumpstart my business. So this could have
Yeah.
been one of them, and I tried it.
Yeah, and I think that's so remarkable because, you know, trying it a lot of times people just want to try like one or two things when they're trying to get students, but you're like, no, I'm, you know what, if this is something that can work, I'm just going to believe them and I'm going to go for it. Now, it's not an overnight thing, you guys. Okay, blogging is not something that is going to get you found immediately and get you an immediate student. This is what we call a long-term strategy. What's beautiful about long-term strategies is they continue to get you found even when you're not putting in the work. Anybody like that idea? Psh, I do. I like people emailing me in my inbox and saying, hey, are you currently taking students? I would rather be in that position where I have too many people asking me that question than not enough. And so blogging is one of those opportunities where, I could have people from all over the world finding that blog post. It's absolutely possible. I could have people from Australia finding me. I could have people from Canada finding me. As long as they're using those keywords in those countries, there's a possibility. So it opens up the doors to how many people can find me through the content that I'm creating. And then when you create enough content over time, you no longer need to even like work on making sure that you're keeping updated on your blog and all those kinds of things. It just feels like you're continually getting students through referrals, through your blog, through Google, through like all these different things. And that's where we want to bring your business so that you don't have to experience that roller coaster in your business as much as it can happen, right? We would rather have the little dips, like we like those kind of curves, like I'm on the baby roller coaster versus I'm on the big gigantic roller coaster. And so that is the reason. That's why we do it. We put in short-term strategies right in the beginning of our business so we can get found right away, start tutoring, start, really getting into the business and getting things organized, and then we can go on. All right, we're gonna see if. Oh no, Lynn can't unmute. Yeah, if you want to leave and come back on in, Lynn, feel free to do that. Awesome. So I'm so excited that you gave it a go. Now, when it came to writing, did you have any negative thoughts that were kind of coming to your head? They still come to my head, by the way.
I Yeah, I wasn't sure I was a good writer. I didn't want to sound repetitive if I wrote the same thing in different blog posts. I didn't want to seem boring because I want my sessions to be fun with the kids. So if, sometimes writing about math can be kind of dry and boring. Uh, yeah, all those things.
Yeah. Were you thinking that it would take a long time as well to kind of write a blog?
Yes, especially when I heard that nowadays you need a lot more words to be considered, or a blog post or a proper blog post to be found by Google. So that was intimidating. I will
Yeah.
not lie.
Now, when I know that Suzanne always has people like write for like 5 or 10 minutes. Did she have you guys like write 5 or 10 minutes like in a day and then count how many words you were able to write?
Suzanne had lots of good suggestions, but I think each of us had our own kind of thing. For me, it was just easier to just, when I had a block of time I knew I could write, I just wrote as much as I could.
Uh
And then
huh.
I put it aside when I had to go somewhere. But
Great.
for me, that's what worked.
Absolutely. And that's what I do too, like with my schedule. So when I need to work on those kinds of activities, let's say I have a student that cancels, instead of canceling that time, what I end up doing and like going on up to my family or like cooking dinner or I may run to the bathroom or something, right? But then I'll come back down and be like, all right, now I'm gonna work on that thing that I've been wanting to work on. Right? Like it's still work time for me. It's not let's take a break time. So
Hmm.
that's a great time to throw in those kinds of activities, right? Like, oh, I've got 30 minutes now that I wasn't expecting. Let me go back into that blog post. Let me keep writing, or let me go back, let me edit. And those are great activities to kind of throw on in. That's how I've written two of my books was through that process. It was through canceled sessions that kids didn't show up to. They weren't necessarily canceled, they still got paid for them. So I was getting paid to work on the things that I needed to do in order to get found for my business.
Hmm.
Sounds pretty awesome, right? So, as you went through the process, how many blog posts were you able to write?
I have now 4 live blog posts, and I have
Yay!
2 in the back burner that are pretty much ready to go. I'm just timing them out. I'm saving
Nice.
them. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. That's fantastic. I love it. And what are your, and I was going to say, how do you feel about those blog posts? Are you proud of those blog posts, or do you feel like still like math is kind of dry and boring and it's kind of hard to come up with content?
I'm I'm pleased with them. I am.
Yeah.
And I got some feedback from Suzanne, and she made me feel pretty good about them too. So I feel like I kind of know the direction I'm heading, and
Yeah.
they might not all be fun and glamorous or, exactly what a parent is looking for, but there might be another one in there somewhere that they find. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep putting information out
Yeah. Yeah.
because it can't hurt really, as long as I write in an intelligent way. I don't think it can hurt as long as it's something that can be useful or uh, yeah,
Yeah. No, I
if that makes
totally
sense.
agree with you. It cannot hurt. I think in the beginning we kind of think that blogging is going to hurt. It's going to hurt my time. Like it's going to be time
Mm.
consuming. It's going to hurt my feelings because what if people say like I did something wrong inside of it, right? We think it's going to hurt. There are a lot of things that we think is going to hurt. And so we kind of like steer away from blogging as a strategy because of that. But when we realize, wait, it doesn't take nearly as much time as I thought it would to write the content, right? Wait, this could be useful for people that I serve. It could be a way for me to be able to get found. All of a sudden, all of those hurts kind of begin to disappear, and it's like, no, this is really a good thing for my business. This isn't something that I should be seeing as like a negative to my business, right?
Mhm.
And that's what the whole point of being able to do it is. And when you do it the right way, like Suzanne shows people how to do, psh, it's gold. It's gold. What was your experience working with Suzanne and the other members through that 31-day challenge and the course?
So me, Lynn, are you able to talk?
I can talk
Oh,
now.
you can talk
Yay! We
now.
can hear you now. Yay!
That's what I get for going on. I had to get a new computer.
Uh-huh.
There are so many things to just logging into a Zoom meeting that you don't expect.
Yeah. Yeah. The loveliness of getting a new computer and you're like, okay, all my settings are different than what they were before and I gotta fix them. But you got through it. You didn't let
Well, I
that
went back
stop
to my
you.
old computer.
Oh, I'll figure it out later.
So,
It's still a solution, and that's a great thing. You guys hold on to your old computers. Here's why. Anything can happen, and having that extra computer, like don't donate it right away. You may be in a crunch where like all of a sudden like something's downloading on a computer and you're like, why is this taking so long? And you have a session like right now, go grab that other computer. You got a backup plan. Or, something went wonky on your computer. It won't start, or any of those kinds of problems. It's great to have a backup computer. So thank you for having that opportunity so we could share with people. What do you do when this happens?
I'm glad I could prove your point. I've ended up, I didn't finish any blogs.
Okay.
And I would expect that I represent a lot of people. But Melissa, you did a great job. But I have a lot of blogs started.
Okay.
But I found out that I cannot complete a blog when I'm trying to do the challenge, because I get hung up on getting more words, and then I have more to correct later on.
Okay.
And I don't like to do that. But
yeah. Time to revisit your blogs and get one up. Stop procrastinating.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This challenge was completely different for me. Completely different, because I can't remember what happened in the very beginning, but I ended up proving a point to myself that when it really came to crunch time and I didn't want to not win, love you, I can put out those words. I can write. I could take every spare moment and work on what I have to do. And that is not how I did it in the past. And I wouldn't really recommend it unless you want to prove something to yourself.
Yeah.
It's like having a paper due, when you're taking a class, you stay up until you get it done. And that's what I learned. I can still do that.
Yeah, and it's we have to take a look at like where are you at with the process. Some people they do have something to prove to themselves. They don't realize how much they can write and how little time they can write it. I know, Suzanne, you've mentioned in the past that it's always surprises you that people can write faster than you. You're like, they always write so many more words than I do. Oops, you're on mute.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I pressed the wrong button. I didn't sleep well last night, so I'm
no.
making all kinds of mistakes. But yes, other people do write a lot faster than me, because we normally do. Like the first couple times that we get started, have what's called a write-in or a launch party, where we write for 15 minutes to see how we do. And at that point, I realized so many other people can write so much more than I can in those 15 minutes. But I like to chunk things because it's easier for me to take a look at in my day 10 minutes or 15 minutes between sessions, and get things done over time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was impressed with the way Lynn was able to kind of towards the end just like come in there like a steamroller, because I thought, oh, she kind of started late. I'm not sure how, if Lynn's going to make it or not. And like
You
in the last
encouraged me,
week,
though.
I did, but I was really blown away that she could reach that milestone. And Ellen, I hope you really go back and finish those.
Well, there's really nothing that compares to seeing your own blog
Mm-hmm.
and looking at it and saying, not bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this was hard to figure out and I didn't know where to go from this point, but you put it all together. And the very first, I don't know if I told this before, but the very first time I did get someone to help me post them. Tech is not my thing. So I had given her all my posts to put in, and I happened to be at a doctor's appointment, and you can often have some extra time then. So I went when she told me they were on, and I sat there, not at home, not at my computer, just like seeing it on my phone as a viewer would see them. And it was like, this is so exciting.
Yes.
So I will now put out other things, but I have kind of a renewed purpose,
Mm-hmm.
because I had to change from writing because I could write and I wanted to focusing on what I should write for my people and how to connect what I tell them about with something I offer them.
Right.
And trying to make everything work all together actually is easier with that focus in mind.
Yes. Yes, and that's a beautiful focus to have because that's the whole point, right? We want to take them
Yeah.
from a casual reader that's getting value from what we have to say to the next stage in the journey. Like what's next for them. And it might be engagement. It might be comment on it, right? It might be what do you think? Asking a question and getting some engagement. Or it could be a direct call to action. Like, hey, if your child is struggling with this as well, then, let's take the next step. Let's do a free consultation, right? Taking them to that next step so they know what that next step is. Our readers need to be led step by step through this process. They're not going to accidentally take the action you want them to take without clarity. So we do have to have like a clear purpose in mind of what is the purpose, what is the intent. And that's like any author, right? We talk about author's purpose in reading, right? But there's also an author's purpose obviously in writing, right? Because an author is the person who's writing it. So is it to persuade them to take an action? Is it to engage them to begin creating this following? Is it so that they could share the information with other people that may have kids that are struggling and bring more numbers to your blog and your website? When you know what that clear goal and that objective is, that's going to help you. And this month we've been working on search engine optimization in our Insider Secrets Club. And for those members that are inside of that community, you guys have access to SEO secrets for tutors. And so definitely check that on out because we've been really going into what is your focus with SEO. Same exact thing with blogging because blogging is an SEO strategy, right? We're writing this content so people can find us. We're writing this content so that it can be useful for other people. But not only that, it makes you look like an expert in your field. And this is huge. You can say all you want. I've been teaching for 15 years, 20 years, or I've been tutoring for 15 years, 20 years. Okay, that's a little bit of proof of expertise. But you know what proves it more is showing, not telling. Right? When you show them what you know versus, trying to do it the other way, this really has a huge, huge impact on what it is that you're doing. So you guys are showing how you're experts in this field, how you can be of service to the people that you want to be able to serve so that more people that you want to serve can find you. Very different strategy. I had somebody who said, well, can't I advertise my services as like, I'm that tutor that just has a bag of tricks for everyone? And I said, no, that's not a niche because that's something that every tutor has and you would expect them to have. There's no way that you could write the bag of tricks tutor. Well, what do I write a blog? What do I create my blog around? Who am I targeting? Who am I focusing on? I can't, right? This is why we say niche down. Figure out who your niche is because could you write a blog that's going to hit all those different people and then guide them to want to read the next blog and the next blog and the next blog? No, but if you have like a focus on reading or writing or math and you're specifically writing about those topics, you're now going to be seen as an expert in those topics. And you know what you can do from there? Next step, take those blogs, turn them into a book. Get found on Amazon. Just saying.
I want to do that someday. Suzanne in the blogging challenge and in her coursework with us does address the keyword research and SEO. I don't always like it, but I know it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It's a good thing, right?
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if you're making an apple pie, a good thing to add inside of there is definitely going to be apples. You don't want to take out the apples, right? Your SEO, your keywords, that's the main ingredient.
I love that word picture. That's a Martha Stewart word picture. Isn't it the one that says it's a good thing?
I don't know. It could be.
Does she?
I don't know.
Anybody know?
I don't know. But I did watch the Martha Stewart. No, it wasn't Martha Stewart. You know what I saw? Oh, who was the lady before Martha
I wanted
Stewart?
to watch that.
Oh my God, it was
Garage
so
sale
good.
or something?
No, there was this one. It was The Joy of Cooking. Who is the very first lady who ever went on TV with...
Oh, the lady that talks like
Julia
Child?
Julia Child!
Gotcha.
Julia Child has an episode, you guys. Oh my gosh, you have got to watch this series. I think it's on Apple TV. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure it's there. But man, it was so good. So if you guys, even if you don't like Julia Child or you didn't even think you liked Julia Child, you will like it. It's so inspirational to see how somebody, like, in a time where women weren't respected, could still get on TV. She put all of her money into it herself because they refused to put her on TV. For her to get the result that she wanted, regardless of what people were saying all around her, mind-blown, inspirational story. We all need those, so definitely look out for those powerful stories that will get you motivated and rev your engine, you guys, because that is awesome sauce, and we all need that. I'm so proud of you guys, Melissa and Lynn, for getting on in there, trying something that is maybe something that you thought wouldn't be useful in your business, knowing that it's not going to get results right away, but it could have a longer term effect down the road, and doing it and putting into place. Also, I can't wait to see what you guys create in the future. I'm super duper proud of you. I know Suzanne is super proud of you, ladies, and I just want to thank you. Congratulations. You guys are champions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank
else
you,
you want to
Suzanne.
add, Suzanne?
Oh no, you just made me think of that Queen song though. We are the champions.
Shall we sing?
The champions. Oh, I don't know. We might get tagged.
I don't know copyright.
Yep, might get tagged. They might take off our video if they hear it. We're not singing it. Just hum it in your head, you guys. You know it. You know the tune. And then guess what? We will rock you too. Okay?
It will be in my head all day. It will be my earworm.
No, I just am so proud of these ladies.
Yeah.
I think they're amazing to do what they do, and they're both really good writers too. So you should definitely check out their blog posts.
You know what?
They're
We should
really
have
good
something.
writers.
We need to discover the good writer in you, because I think everybody has that capability of being a good writer. We just have had so many red marks, negative comments in the past about our own writing that it deters us from wanting to write. But you know what? We all can discover the good writer inside of us. We all are capable, and we all have it inside of us, and we all have a story to tell, like Suzanne always says.
Yes,
And
everyone is a writer.
That's right.
you
With
are,
stories to tell and ideas to share. So yes.
and you are encouragers, because otherwise it's so easy to drop the ball and just think you can't do it, and
Yeah.
and then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I had a professor that taught a writing course. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Suzanne.
I was just going to say, I was told when I was very young I couldn't write, that I'd never be able to write, never be able to go to college. And I heard that for years.
Oh.
And I used writing as an act of rebellion, kind of like, well, I'm going to show you. You're
I
wrong.
love that.
You know,
I love it.
and that kept me going and going. But it can be really, really hard when you hear those negative things to overcome them. So I definitely empathize with anyone going through that, always, post in the group, tag me, I'm always willing to kind of share a little bit about, how you can grow as a writer, and
Yeah.
don't
And
listen to
Suzanne,
anybody who tells you that you can't.
yeah,
Just don't.
we call that imposter syndrome, right? All those negative thoughts that come towards us about like a certain thing, like I'm not as good as, or I can't do as good of a job as, right? And that's something that Suzanne is really good at helping you clear away, is that imposter syndrome. So, you guys, you can become a good writer. I'm so glad you guys are here, and let's keep writing, you guys. Let's keep sharing. Let's continue to show people how we're experts and not just tell them. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we will all see you later. Bye, everyone.
Happy.
Thank you.
Bye.
And
Hello, hello. Sorry, my live stream went a little long.
all good. No, how you feeling?
You know, I wish it was better. But there's, you know what? I just keep trudging on. I'm like, okay, if I just keep working, then I won't be able to think about it, right? Because when I lay down, like I only allow myself to lay down with this like certain times of the like one time during the day. Like, okay, you can take a break right here and you can just lay down and that's it. Because otherwise, it's so hard for my head to come off the pillow. My head hurts so bad.
Oh,
So, like, okay, that's not helping, clearly, but I just feel like at some point my head feels like, okay, you do need to just lay down. Um, yeah, I want to be done with it. I kind of feel like it's allergy related now.
oh yeah, yeah. Like, do you have environmental or food allergies?
I have allergies to like everything, but I have allergies. Oh my god, if I told you all my allergies, it would make you cry. Like I'm allergic to. I have food sensitivities to sugar, eggs, gluten,
Mm-hmm.
soy.
Hmm.
I don't have nut allergies. I guess there's a positive there. Um, but yeah, those are some of the big ones that I have allergies to. Oh, and
Yeah.
dairy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all of these food sensitivities on top of allergies, seasonal allergies, and all of that. And I've been getting outside a lot and doing stuff with the family. And
Yeah.
it really came on when we went on vacation and we were outside a lot. Like the headache started like going on up, and I thought maybe it's because I've just had some food sensitivity stuff, and I'm going to clean out my entire system and drain it and like only put the good positive stuff inside of my body. I'm going to be really good. So for 2 weeks I have not put one thing that is a food sensitivity inside of my body. My headache is reduced by like 50%, which is good, but I think that other 50 is, I think it's allergy related,
Yeah.
like
Oh, they're
seasonal.
brutal. They're absolutely brutal. No, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I think we're kind of in simpatico there with tons of food allergies and sensitivities and environmental problems. Well, it's wild. Like, did you find with gluten? Like I found with my like because I'm allergic to like you like everything, eggs, nuts, seafood, mushrooms, dairy, etc. Gluten, and I found with gluten that when I finally stopped about 7 years ago because I was getting so sick I couldn't get out of bed, and
Yeah.
then my hands were like locking up like this.
Oh.
I opened them properly. It was like just like a almost like a rapid arthritis, almost like it couldn't open. It was so inflamed, and
Oh
then once I
wow.
it's been fine.
Isn't it funny
So,
because the inflammation happens for different people? For me, the inflammation happens right here in the back of my head,
hmm,
which is why I thought, okay, maybe this is food based. You know, I we have it where we only make one meal per family that goes up north. And
yeah,
so I just eat what's served, right? I'm not going to sit there and be like, okay, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat that. And
yeah,
so I was like, okay, it could be because I've put these foods inside of my body that has just caused this inflammation. Now I'm just like praying for the inflammation to just go away.
go away. Yeah, get lost. We don't need this here. Yeah,
You know, I got
absolutely.
too much to accomplish, don't you know?
Yeah, exactly. There's too much going on here to deal with you and your meddling, you know?
Craziness.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Continued recoveries. Continued recoveries.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I took yesterday completely off from life practically. My family went on. We did church from home.
Yeah.
They went off to watch my nephew play in a baseball tournament, and I'm like, I'm staying home. They went off to like have dinner at my in-laws. I'm like, I'm just staying home. Like I'm taking tomorrow. I'm like, I'm just taking today off.
Yeah.
And did it
Which is,
help?
yeah.
No.
Oh. But sometimes it can. I mean, sometimes it's good to just have that 1 day recharge and reboot.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry to hear it didn't work.
No. But we're just gonna keep trudging. We're just gonna do this because it doesn't matter. I got things to accomplish, man.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't sit around. Life is short, right? So
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
exactly. Oh, quick question. Am I looking directly into the camera? Because I've got a new ring light and a couple. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
tacky. So I'm staring at my phone because I have soft. Because Apple is ridiculous. Apple, the new Apple that I bought last year or the year or late the year before, has weaker zoom capabilities than my previous Apple. Apple's in big trouble for this. So the zoom would always look really fuzzy and low res. So I'm using my latest iPhone with a special software that converts it to zoom, and then I have a ring light behind me to make it look a little better. So I'm just wondering if am I looking into outer space because I'm staring
Nope.
not at the screen, not at that screen, but at some little tiny light on my phone.